Tarsier Studios have just released news and a teaser on their new upcoming game, which is still untitled. No, they didn't mention the name of the game in the teaser either. Hello everybody, my name is It's Just Jord, and we recently live streamed our reaction to the showcase. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you my actual reaction to it, and of course, we're going to do after that a breakdown of it. So if you are interested in Tarsier's new game and new IP, then make sure you hit subscribe, as I will be covering it extensively in the future, because of course, as we all know, Tarsier Studios created the one and only Little Nightmares, and my channel is very focused on Little Nightmares content, so of course I'm going to cover Tarsier Studios content. So of course, without the wait, let's actually get into the live reaction, and forgive me. Oh, nice. Thank you. I hope you had a good time over there. Now you get to hear a rambling British man over the top of all the view. I apologise. I'm pretty sure they're making a game in this. Hopefully, yes, Cole. I do like this style. Like it's breeded a new version of like content, like game theme. Like I don't know how to explain it, but I know that people are now sort of describing their games at. This is Tarsier. What the hell? What was that? That looked very Tarsier. Wait, I totally missed it! No! Was that it? Did I miss the Tarsier? No! Did I ramble too long? And did I miss it? Did I just catch the end of that? Because I thought that was Tarsier, just the way the pig looked. Did I just miss that? So that was my reaction live. As you can see, it wasn't very well thought out, and of course I basically missed it. But if you thought that was fun and want to be included in the next one, especially for Gamescom coming up, make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell so you get notified when I go live. And I'll only be going live on YouTube, so don't worry about going anywhere else. Anyway, now that you've seen my reaction to it, I am going to be breaking it down frame by frame. Now, I jokingly said I was going to do this through the live stream and make it 2 hours long, but don't worry, it's not going to be 2 hours long. We might make it to 10 minutes, who knows. But of course, let's start with one of the biggest things. It's being published by THQ Nordic. Now, I imagine this is the case because, of course, they are part of Amplified, and Amplified is a company within Embracer, and recently, I mean, about the last year or two, Embracer did buy Tarsier Studios, so of course that fits together nicely. But anyway, sidetracked. The video shows us in the first frame that Tarsier are going to pull off that lovely magical camera pan, as they have been doing so in Little Nightmares. It's a very signature move for me for Tarsier lately. And of course, once the video fades in, we can see that we have stumbled into a dark, hellish, barn-like area. On the floor looks to be cardboard and littered with, of course, pig corpses and blood all over the floor. So the first question you have to ask is this been left like this because neglection, or has something or someone come through this area and killed these pigs in this hellish way? Is this going to be a comment on how society deals with animals and how they are mass produced and used? And also, one thing to note is on the left there's like a mountain of like grub and dirt or something that's just on the left. It's hard to make out currently, but it looks like just a collection of like gruesome parts. If there is anything to take away from this so far, is it looks gruesome. It looks like they didn't have no filter this time around, and it looks like they've gone all out with the details, the gory details, which again I am all for, because this looks fantastic. And of course, as the camera pans in, we see flies are around all the deceased sort of pigs. And this is, of course, an indication that they've been dead a long time. So whether this is an actual part of the level or just setting the scene for what we're going to see in the future, I don't know. But this looks like a very polished place, and I reckon we could be wandering through it. And of course, in focus comes our creature that we're going to be seeing in a second. But first, there's something on the right-hand side of the screen, which looks to be a type of rope or some kind of fabric that's just hung up, and it looks to be as if it was used to feed the pigs or some kind of storage container or something similar to that. But as the creature walks further into frame and the camera picks up and focuses in on it, we can actually see that beside the creature, well, the pig, is just mountains again of muck and possibly manure and just food and deceased animals and things like that. I imagine there's some type of like horses as well, because of course up on the right we have a sort of shoe horse, it looks like, or some kind of instrument for that kind of deal. In front of us, of course, we have the pig, and the pig looks to be not having a good time. It's struggling to get to where it is. It's basically panting or out of breath, and it just seems to be tired and of course very worn. And interestingly enough, within the first few seconds of seeing it, it lets out a very horrendous cry. And we can see this cry is painful for the pig and actually spits out a bit of blood in the process. But more importantly, of course, as you can imagine, with that cry, it splits some of its stitches, and of course its intestines fall out to the floor. And again, I praise Tarsier, because this is an absolute gory type deal. And, you know, you don't see studios this brave anymore unless it's like a proper horror game. Now, whether this is going to be set as a horror game, we don't know yet. So I'm very intrigued to see what they class it or rate it as. But this detail is absolutely petrifying. There's just the lighting and the fog and the highlights on the pig, and just the amount of detail again going into the gruesome part of the pig's stomach basically coming out is just ew. Then after this, and the pig catches its breath again, it looks towards the camera and tells us, "They're coming." Now, what's interesting about this is I took it personally myself live as if they were talking about the player, or the pig is talking about whatever creatures are in that world possibly attacking them. Now, again, is those creatures that the pig is referring to as humans? Are we going to be seeing this from the pig's perspective, or like a creature's perspective in this world? It's interesting to think that we could be seeing this game world through the eyes of an animal or some kind of creature that's struggling to survive. And then after that, we see the pig struggle to walk off, dragging its intestines behind him. And of course, we then fade to black with, of course, the information that Tarsier are going to be appearing in Gamescom Opening Night Live. Now, Opening Night Live is going to be a really interesting one. We plan on streaming it here on the channel because, of course, we're looking out for some Little Nightmares free content. But, of course, Little Nightmares and Tarsier content is always well appreciated, so we will definitely be reacting and streaming to that too. But one thing I also want to note is, wow, is that, interestingly, this design is not the first time that Tarsier have really thought about using. For instance, if we take a look at the Little Nightmares artwork or art book that we received in the Little Nightmares 2 Deluxe Edition, and in the art book we can see on page 4, when they talk about the hunter and the wilderness setting and show all that kind of conceptual stage, we can actually see there is a pig on top of some kind of like sludgy hill surrounded by piglets, and one piglet is actually cut in half. But the emphasis here is the fact that the pig's belly is split open too, and that's not the first time that we see this in the art book either. There is another instance where we see a similar sort of thing happen. Again, it's contained within the wilderness sort of concept, but also there was a moose that has a similar sort of fate, if you will. The moose in the art book looks to be very worn down, very tired, and must have gone through hell. And also the intestines are falling out, or what you would assume to be intestines. Perhaps there was a part of a story they wanted to tell in Little Nightmares 2, but couldn't or weren't able to for some reason, and they might have been able to use it in this game. Now again, we don't know the name of the game, we don't know what's going on with the game, we only have the small little teasers that we know about. But from so far, we kind of don't know where these teasers in this trailer are going to be linked. Because if you remember rightly, the teasers were some sort of boat across the sea and some small, like, personal creature sat on the beach side with a light in a tent. Now, realistically, I imagine that "They Are Coming" line is referring to those people that we see in the picture teasers. But again, we'll know more about this with Gamescom, and quite frankly, I'm very excited for Gamescom. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you see any sort of details that I might have missed. With that being said, again, if you want to be up to date on the news for the new Tarsier IP, and of course any Gamescom news, and of course Little Nightmares news. Make sure you hit subscribe and remember to like and comment on the video. But with that being said, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. Have a lovely morning, day or night, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next Theory video. Bye!